In the heart of a sun-drenched savanna, nestled among rustling baobab trees and red earth footpaths, there stood a village named Ogoda. It was the kind of place where time lingered, where people woke to the rooster's crow and lived by the rhythm of rains and harvests. Everyone knew everyone, and stories passed faster than wind through the tall grass. In Oguta, there lived a girl named Lyla. She was the kind of beauty that made other women pause and look twice. Skin the color of polished mahogany, wide doe eyes that glimmered beneath her long lashes, and cheekbones carved like the ridges of distant hills. Her waist was narrow, hips full, legs long and graceful. But to the people of Ogoda, beauty was incomplete without one sacred symbol, bosom. And in this, Lyla lacked. Her chest was flat as the village riverbed in dry season, and for this, she became a song on tongues, a whispered joke at gatherings. The men laughed when she passed. "See how the wind blows through her chest like empty calabash," they'd say, slapping their thighs in cruel mirth. The older women clucked their tongues and muttered, "How will she feed children? A woman with no milk in her future has no place in a man's home." At first, Lyla tried to ignore them. She held her chin high, but every gaze that lingered, every smirk that curled a villager's lips, it chipped away at her, grain by grain, and like sand underwater, she eroded slowly. One night, after a particularly humiliating festival where a boy named Deepo mimed having to squint to see her womanhood, Lyla packed her woven bag, took what little money she had saved from selling mangoes and beaded bracelets, and boarded a rusty bus to Lagos. The city struck her like thunder. Tall buildings loomed like metal gods, horns blared in endless cacophony, and the air was thick with smoke, sweat, and the perfume of fried plantains. Lyla was overwhelmed but not defeated. She was determined. Here, no one knew her. Here, beauty could be shaped, remade. She worked odd jobs, washing clothes, serving drinks at smoky bars, cleaning the houses of women with silky weaves and designer handbags. She watched them, envied them. Men flocked to their curves like bees to nectar. Their laughter filled rooms like music. Their breasts, round, full, powerful, commanded attention and desire. Lyla wanted that power. She heard whispers in the salons, the ones behind the veil of proper society. Women spoke of Dr. Obasa, a miracle worker. He didn't ask questions, didn't need papers. He enhanced, enlarged, reshaped. His clinic was tucked into a crumbling building behind a nightclub in Ikeja. It didn't matter. Women came out new, divine. She saved every naira, ate less, walked miles, slept on concrete. All for this, the dream of a fuller chest. When she had enough, she found Dr. Obasa. He had yellowed eyes and a voice like molasses over gravel. The clinic was dark, flickering with faulty bulbs in shadowed corners. But she didn't care. "I want to be full," she said, not needing to explain more. He smiled without warmth. "You will be more than full." The surgery was quick, painless even. She woke up swaddled in bandages. Her chest ached, heavy already. When she looked down, she gasped, already fuller than she'd ever imagined. The mirror showed a different Lyla. Men would no longer laugh. For the first week, she glowed. Men stared as she walked down streets, their eyes stuck to her like glue. She started working at a high-end club dressed in tight silks, basking in the attention she had once been denied. Her tips overflowed. Her phone never stopped ringing. But then the pain began. Her breasts began to swell, slowly at first. She thought it was part of the healing, but they did not stop. Day by day, they grew heavier, tighter. Her bras snapped, her shirts tore. Veins traced angry blue lines across the bloating skin. She returned to Dr. Obasa, terrified. "This isn't normal," she whispered, voice cracking. "They're still growing." The doctor barely glanced up. "Side effects. The formula is experimental. You wanted power, did you not?" "I didn't want to be a monster," she cried, but he only shrugged, turning his back. She went to other doctors, but none could understand what had been done. Whatever was inside her was no silicone, no saline. It pulsed like it lived. Her breasts grew to the size of gourds, then watermelons, stretching her skin into painful ridges. Walking became difficult, sleeping impossible. The weight of her beauty dragged her forward. The men who had once stared now recoiled. She became a joke again, this time in a city 10,000 times larger. Memes spread of the balloon girl of Lagos. Strangers laughed behind her back. Some ran from her on sight, and still they grew. She couldn't work, could barely leave her flat. Her money ran out, the club fired her, the landlord evicted her. Her breasts, grotesque and growing, had consumed her dream. She became a prisoner inside her own skin. Desperate, she returned to Ogata. The village had changed little. The same mud houses, same dusty air. But now the people didn't laugh. They stared, horrified, stepping back as she limped through the village gate, chest wrapped in faded cloth, drooping like swollen fruit from a cursed tree. They said nothing, but the silence screamed louder than any mockery. Her mother wept upon seeing her. "What have you done, Lyla? I wanted to be enough," she whispered. "I wanted to be wanted." They gave her a hut on the edge of the village. No one visited. Children peered through the cracks, eyes wide. Stories began to spread that Lyla had made a pact with dark spirits for beauty, and they had cursed her with unquenchable growth, that she had swallowed vanity, and it had swollen her from within. In the nights, Lyla would lie alone, moaning under the weight of her deformity. She prayed for death, but even that seemed to mock her. Her body was too strong to give up, too weak to live, and the breasts kept growing. In time, she could no longer stand. She no longer cried. She only stared at the ceiling. One day she felt movement. Inside, not kicks, not flutters, but a slow, crawling sensation. As if something inside the swollen mounds had begun to awaken. It pulsed, throbbed, not with blood, but with something else. Something old, something watching. Lyla tried to scream, but her voice had grown thin, her breath shallow. She knew then, it wasn't the surgery. Not really. It was the desire, the wanting, the willingness to reshape herself, to sacrifice everything for the illusion of worth. In Ogata, children now tell tales of the woman on the edge of the village. They say she breathes still, barely, her chest larger than her own body, moving sometimes on its own. They say if you listen closely, you can hear it whispering to her in the night. They call her Omu Nla, the Great Breast. A warning, a curse, and no one dares laugh anymore.